Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Dorothy, as we are now fully into September,
Yes, we are.
we're kicking off a lot of shows that earmark specific events that are happening in Moore County this fall.
Okay.
And we are going to speak with one of my favorite guests from the Encore Center in Southern Pines, and that's Becky Podlegar, who is the manager of the Encore Center. And you are here to talk about that iconic movie on Golden Pond.
Yes.
Which you will be doing 2 weekends of shows from September 27th to the 29th, and then October 4th to the 6th.
Yes.
And belated happy birthday
Thank you.
early this week, and I know you never rest. And I saw some pictures on social media yesterday with some of your cast members who are here today. I guess you had the first read-through.
We have.
Okay.
Yes, we started our read-through of On Golden Pond this week, and we have a fantastic cast that is just really going to blow us away with how great they are. They're all so talented, and we're just so excited for the show.
So many people know about On Golden Pond with the iconic, Henry Fonda, Jane Fonda, and Katharine Hepburn. So the way you interpret this show, so many people will have seen the movie. Does that pose more of a challenge, or is that an advantage?
Well, the play is a little bit different from the movie, but it's still that beautiful story of life and changes throughout life and all of those things. So it still gets you in the heartstrings and just talks a lot about life.
It's a movie about connections that caught people by surprise, that happened during the show, and you watch the character development, which is quite something.
Yes.
This is a far cry from Legally Blonde.
Yes.
Which I happened to see, by the way, a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, I hadn't been inside the Encore Center for a couple of productions. What you've done inside that theater is magnificent. The way you have the elevated seats, or they're elevated is the wrong word, but they're stepped up. You cannot get a bad seat, no matter whether you're in the back row or the front row.
Right.
And the acoustics seem so much improved from the early days, from 2019.
Definitely. We started out in 2019 with the 9 or 11 rows of pews, all on the same level, and we now have I think it's 9 levels of viewing. So it's been a lot, and we've put a lot of work into trying to make the experience better and better each time.
Yeah, it was just we saw the matinee. And for those of you who don't know, the Encore Center is downtown at 160 East New Hampshire, right up the street from Ashton's. And your box office is open usually during the week for ticket sales. It's become a real landing spot for a lot of people. It's growing and growing. You've been there for how long with the Encore Center?
I've been there since the day we opened in
Is that right?
2019, yes.
Is that right?
So,
you brought some guests with you today to talk about it. And if you want to introduce from left to right.
Okay. So we have, right beside me, we have Mimi Carter, our director of the show.
Hello.
Hey, Mimi.
And then we have Rhonda Brocky, who is playing Ethel Thayer. And then we have James Dean, who is playing Norman Thayer Jr.
So James and Rhonda are playing the Henry Fonda and the Katharine Hepburn characters.
That's right.
Yes.
Not a tall order, right?
Right.
Both of you, I want to ask, James, you've had experience in theater acting. This isn't your first go-round.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, I started in theater, I think I did my first play in maybe 1976 or something like that.
Were you Mr. Potter in It's a Wonderful Life?
I was recently. I played a lot of crabby old guys lately. Yeah. Mr. Potter was one of them. Scrooge was another one.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life was one of the things I grew up with as a kid. Every year it was like a ritual. We would watch it to kick in the holiday season.
Right. He's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. The first year I did the play, actually, I played Clarence.
The Angel.
Yes.
Okay, I can see that.
I was really good at that, but they wanted somebody better to play Potter, so
You had an edge to you that they saw?
yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. Anybody who knows me sees it.
How did you, is this your first production with the Encore Center?
Yes, it is.
Because I know I hadn't met you before. How did you connect? How was it with Becky? Was it with your co-star, Rhonda?
Actually, I've known Mimi and Rhonda for a very long time, close to 30 years anyway.
Okay.
And I've been keeping an eye on the Encore Center because I wanted to come up here and do something. And this seemed like the perfect thing for me.
Isn't that Encore Center a special place?
Yes,
it
is.
It's like a diamond. It's like a diamond in the rough that has just really blossomed.
Yes. I've been in other theaters that were in the same situation
Yep.
in other towns, and they were just there doing plays that nobody else was doing, and they grew into wonderful little theaters.
Wow. And Rhonda,
Yes.
your resume reads like a whole page.
Oh, it does?
It does.
Sorry about that.
You've been, an actress, a dancer, and a choreographer at the Cape Fear Regional Theater. But you've directed at the Encore Center Bye Bye Birdie and Nonsense,
Yes.
and The Innocents, and the Sweet Delilah Swim Club. But this is the first time you've been here. I hadn't met you before.
Right. I've never been able to make it to the interviews. Thank you.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Has this been a lifelong passion of yours?
I think so without knowing it, I suppose. You know, how you do in your living room at home when you're young. I used to sing and dance and play pretend. So, I've always enjoyed being on the stage. I was 4th grade. I pretended I knew how to tap dance so I could be in the school play. So my mom had to come over and buy me some tap shoes, and I made up a dance.
Yeah.
So it started from there.
Any special challenges playing a character that was so well known by, as Katharine Hepburn?
Because people are going to relate to that person. So
Exactly.
you want to make it your own and make it real as possible and not take it from, I don't want to be a Katharine Hepburn doing the role.
Right,
So.
exactly.
I want to be Ethel Thayer.
And I want to just go around the table. Mimi, I saw you about a week or so ago over at Brooklyn Pickle, and you came over to me. And you've been directing shows at the Encore for this isn't the first one.
No, this is only my second one
Okay.
for Encore, but it's not my second show I've directed.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and how have you been associated with the Encore Center?
Sure. I am not really from anywhere that I would call home, except Moore County now, because I've lived here now going on 6 years.
Okay.
I grew up in theater. My mom ran a theater, so...
Is that right?
Yeah. My first time on stage, I think I was 5 years old, and I played a little devil, and that's been all downhill from there. So, but I've also directed... my husband's military, so I was traveling spouse, I guess. Trailing spouse is what they call us.
Yeah.
And so I've directed in Asia and Australia.
Oh, wow.
So the Philippines and Thailand is basically where we were stationed, so I've directed shows over there.
So what does it mean to you to have a facility like the Encore Center here where you can express yourself?
Oh, boy. When I first got here,
Yeah.
I was traveling back down to Fayetteville because the Gilbert Theater was my home theater down there. So I was traveling back and forth. I'm like, this is so far.
Right.
And one of my friends from Gilbert called and said, "Hey, look, there's going to be a new opening." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" So he and I went down there, and they were having their open house.
Yep.
And I happened to corner Brandon Langford.
Yep.
And I'm like, "I'll do anything. What do you want me to do? Let me just do anything." And he's like, "I don't know anything. I don't know. Just go talk to somebody over here." And so that's when I joined Encore. And I started by, I think, what did I do? Props? I think I started with props. And also costumes.
Okay.
And then on stage. Yeah.
So-
I was on the board for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, as a director, when you take such a well-known movie as On Golden Pond, how do you make that translate, and is it translated differently?
Absolutely.
Tell me
differently. Well, these are not your iconic characters. And they're not Henry Fonda.
Right. I
Or-
thought he was. He
kind of looks like it, absolutely, but no, they're bringing their own special qualities to this.
Okay.
And when we first started, I said, this is like the pond. It's calm, okay? It's calm, and it's there's very little ripples, and that's the whole feel of on the play on Golden Pond. Is it's very calm and steady until it's not. And then there's the little ripples in there. But our stage is much smaller than a movie set too. So
Right.
The challenges of blocking also come in, and we also have a very short amount of time to rehearse. So we've only got 3.5 weeks basically.
Yeah.
So we come in, most everybody has their lines, and then it's blocking, and then after we get everybody into place, then we're going to start going, okay, why are you going there? What's the reason you're walking into the kitchen? So it's not because, as the director, I say, you go there. I never want an actor to do that. I want them to find their own means of going to the spot where it looks best for the audience.
Yeah, as a director, when you're doing a movie that's so character-driven, how is it different than a musical? Because it's much more intense with each line, with each character, right? Because they have to develop fully without the benefit of the music and the hurrah around them.
Well, honestly, with a straight play, I think you have more time to get to know the characters because it's a little slower pace, and it's not broken up by, okay, let's sing and dance now.
Yeah.
So you get a steady course along there of getting to know the characters as they grow.
Is there as much of an emphasis on the set as there is in the characters that will be doing the play?
Yeah.
Yes. We
Becky?
Mimi and I were out going to thrift shops and places today, and looking for pieces that would meet what our vision is for what this house on Golden Pond looks like.
Right.
And so we are so fortunate here in Moore County to have so many places to go and look for different things. And we just are so thankful for the community that lets us use things on our stage, and it's just just coming up with what that cabin looks like.
Yes, because it is set in Maine, not Moore County.
Yes.
Right, exactly. On Golden Pond is going to be shown the weekend of, I guess it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 27th to the 29th of September. And then the following weekend, October 4th to the 6th. Tickets can be purchased at the box office.
Online.
Online.
At EncoreCenter.net, or you can call the box office.
Yeah. It's a magnificent facility that just seems to get better and better and better. Let's come back in the second set and talk a little bit more about the play and some upcoming events that you have on Golden Pond in just about 3 weeks. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our second set of All Things Moore County. We're talking all about the production of On Golden Pond, which will be presented at the Encore Center the weekends of September 27th to the 29th and October 4th through October the 6th. Becky, I always ask you this question. How did you come upon On Golden Pond, and why select it for the kickoff of your fall season?
This is our 6th season
Yep.
of shows at Encore, and we were just looking for shows that we felt were heartwarming and just something to really kick off our season. We ended our last season with Nonsense, which was a fun,
Yeah.
exciting musical, and then we had all of our children's camps over the summer. So just to open the fall with this beautiful show just seemed like the right choice.
So for those who haven't seen On Golden Pond, Mimi, tell me a little bit about the story and how it develops.
Oh, well, it develops over, it is set over a summer.
Right.
Okay, this is a cabin that has been in the Thayer, not the Thayer family, in Ethel's family. We don't know
Okay.
her last name, though. But it's been in Ethel's family since she was a child. So, and now that they're married, they've been coming here for 48 years to the On Golden Pond cabin. And so everything takes place in the cabin.
Right.
And they are there to celebrate Norman's 80th birthday. And to help celebrate this, their daughter, Chelsea, is coming to visit with them, except she's bringing her new boyfriend. And they find out, too, that the new boyfriend has a son, and Chelsea, their daughter, has asked them to watch the young son, who is 13, while they go to Europe for a couple weeks.
Okay.
And so that's that. It's the growth of to me, it's the growth of Norman coming out of his shell of being such a curmudgeon. He's finding joy in his life again and spirit through this young child. So, and it's wonderful to see his crotchetiness kind of peel away a little bit and see more playfulness when he's around Billy. And it's a lovely.
What about his relationship with his daughter?
His daughter
Let's
is
talk about
not
that.
so great.
Not so great.
Not so great. Probably pressures of being an only daughter, maybe, and instead of the only son, played with her mind a bit.
Yeah.
And so she and her father are not very close. She and her mother are. So to give you clues on how close they might be, she calls her mother Mommy, and she calls her father Norman.
Oh, that says a
That's
lot.
it. That's it.
That says quite a bit. So he comes of age a little bit through the
Yeah.
13-year-old.
Yes, well, and the 13-year-old comes in kind of with a chip on his shoulder, too, and he's going to find childlike behaviors then, more child joys in his heart, is what I think in this, and enjoy being around the wisdom. Norman is teaching him love of French and fishing, how to speak French.
So this is a time in our lives, in our world today, we need something heartwarming, I think, for many, many obvious reasons where we are in the world, and this sort of sets a nice tone and tenor for the holiday season, doesn't it?
It is. It's a very heartwarming show, and we just blocked scene 3 last night. Yes. Scene 2, and watching the end, the interaction between those. It's like I don't want to cry yet. I don't want to cry because it is very touching. Because Norman is also pushing 80. He's losing some of his cognitiveness.
Yeah. So James, I can just read between the lines watching him. There's a little boy in him that wants to be mischievous and bad.
Oh no, never.
Yeah, he's got that glint in his eye.
He does.
We were talking at the break, and you were talking about your passion for the arts all throughout your life, and that it was always something, it was a passion of yours, that it was something you've always gotten close to.
Yes.
And now you have that here in Moore County, which you didn't have because you were doing most of your work in Fayetteville.
That's right.
So now my guess is there will be an open door for you here at the Encore Center going forward.
Well, we'll see. I'm kind of an old guy, you know, so there aren't that many roles that I'm perfect for.
Becky, he's really full of himself. He's really full of himself. I can see that.
Perfect for this show.
I see that.
When he walked through the door, actually, and did come to, I was like, I was just thrilled.
Yes.
I really was thrilled.
Yes, at auditions, it was just like
We had a
oh my
lot of
goodness,
tough choices.
Yes, a lot of tough choices.
And honestly, when I go into to cast a show, I do have people in mind, but they're not married to in my mind. So I had people walk through the door, and I'm like, oh, I did not see that, and change my mind on casting.
Yeah, I love your enthusiasm. By the way, it's like off the charts.
Oh, is it?
Right? It really is. Rhonda, how about you? You also performed a lot in Fayetteville, and you've been associated with the Encore Center. But this is an opening that 5-6 years ago didn't exist here.
Exactly, yes.
Right.
I'm really happy that it is here because I've been able to come over and do a lot of things I haven't been able to do before. The plays I've been able to be involved in, and then also the directing of the 2 plays has been a great joy and challenge. But it's been because of the Encore being here that I've been able to do that.
Right.
So I'm very appreciative of it.
Who's playing the 13-year-old boy?
Logan Brown
Okay.
is playing, and he is.
Is he really 13?
He is 14, I think.
Yeah.
We won't
Close.
tell anybody.
Yeah, but he is just wonderful. He's one of our teens that we've had in camps before, and he came out to auditions, and we had some tough competition for teen boys as
Yes,
well.
we did. We did.
But we've eventually decided on Logan for that part, and we're just thrilled to have him with us for that.
Is this his first
This
participation in a production?
This is first in a main stage. Yes,
Wow.
he's been in our production camps, but this is his first main stage show.
So the Encore Center is almost like a college of different age groups because you start with very young students, dance,
Yes.
voice,
Yes.
acting, and this was like a huge coup for him, right?
Yes, we have, like you said, classes for all ages in all things. And then this summer, our camps, we even did a smaller kids camp this year. We did Lion King Kids.
Right.
So we had 6-year-olds, 6 to 10-year-olds, 25 of them on stage for a 1-week camp of Lion King Kids, and that was quite a feat to get 6-year-olds to do a show in a week. It was fun. We had a great time.
When you're 13 or 14 years old and you're in a competition for a part, the impressions that a young boy, in this case, great for Logan, and then the person who may have been auditioning, it's a life lesson that hopefully they use as a building block. Right. And I'm sure that you are behind them, supporting them as well.
Absolutely.
That's how they learn about life.
Absolutely. And that's the toughest part because, there are only so many parts to fill.
Right,
And
right.
that is very, very difficult.
So you watch your students. Some kids will hang their head and they'll shrug their shoulders and they'll feel sorry for themselves. Others will take it as, I have to do better the next time and be resilient, right? And that's what I guess you're hoping to find. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Theater is so much more than just performing on the stage. There are so many life lessons that come with theater.
Right.
So many different aspects to it.
I always say that performing on stage, we've had a lot of young students from the school system on the show. It takes almost more courage for the students to be in the theater arts than it does to be participating in team sports, because you can hide in the huddle. You're not the only person out there one-on-one, and it does take a special kind of grit. But the payoff is the self-esteem goes off the charts for those that can do it, right? And you get to watch it. You're like the mother superior.
Well, I am Mom Lagar
Mom
to
Lagar.
many people. Instead of Pod Lagar, I'm Mom Lagar.
I
So,
think
yes.
you are. On Golden Pond is going to be shown at the Encore Center September the 27th through the 29th and October the 4th through the 6th. So there'll be back-to-back weekends. You'll have will it be 3 or 4 shows each weekend with a matinee?
We have 4 shows. Friday nights at 7:30, Saturdays at 2 and 7:30, and Sundays at 2.
Okay. Okay, let's come back in the third set and we'll talk more about the production, and we want to talk a little bit about what's going forward for the Encore Center. This is All Things Moore County. Welcome back to our final set of All Things Moore County. The Encore Center will be showcasing On Golden Pond the weekends of September 27th through the 29th and the weekend of October 4th to the 6th. Tickets are on sale at the box office at the Encore Center. And in 6 short years, the Encore Center has found a home and started to create almost a subculture with the many different age groups of participants who have either enrolled in classes, courses, or passionate people like James and Rhonda who have found an outlet to perform and serve their passion. James, you've alluded to that a couple of times, and I'm impressed because if you get to do what you love, right, nothing else matters as long as you have the outlet.
That's right. That's right. Yes, I've always loved theater, always loved acting, but I was shy as a child, and I didn't get involved until I was in college.
Really?
But my very first play, The Rag Pickers, there was 3 men in the play, and one of them was played by a professor. And during the middle of the play, he skipped 2 pages of dialogue, and I was able to go back and pick it up. And I knew then that this is really what I want to do for the rest of my life.
And you have been doing this since your 20s?
Yes.
Wow.
Since my 20s, yeah.
Wow. How do you enjoy working with a young, like Logan, for instance? He's 14.
I'm going to have fun with that young man.
Yeah, I hope he's not going to need therapy when it's all over.
Well, sometimes they do, but Rhonda's worked. I worked as a director with Rhonda and also an actor in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Okay.
I played Big Daddy. She played Big Mama, and
Okay.
she. I put her through the ringer, but she still loves me.
Yes.
He is the bad boy of the group.
Yes, he is. We got to keep
Becky,
an eye on him.
tell me, or Mimi, tell me about the cast members that are not here. We just have a couple
Oh, sure.
with Rhonda and James.
Sure. We mentioned Norman and Ethel's daughter, Chelsea.
Yep.
And Chelsea is being played by Juliet Eden, who was in Nonsense.
Okay.
And she's also been in
Around the World in 80 Days.
Around the World in 80 Days. And wasn't she in, what was Grimm Fairy Tale?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Grimm's
Mother's
Fairy
Grimm.
Tale. Yes. And then we have the young son, we talked about him, Logan Brown. His father is as new to our stage also, and he's being played by Ryan Harris. And we also have another returning person to the stage who plays Charlie Martin the mailman, and that's Denny Orr. So, and Denny's been seen on our stage in Around the World in 80 Days. Is that? I think yeah.
So that's a total of 7 or 6?
Six.
So if you only have 6 participants in the play, you have 6 opportunities to develop 6 very distinct characters.
Yes.
I mean, in depth.
Uh-huh.
And they all have to stand on their own, right?
Yes. They're all going to have to stand up against him at some point, I think, against James.
I'm sweet.
Yeah.
But by the end of the play, he softens up a little bit, or a lot.
He softens. It's a lovely ending.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil it for you, though.
That's okay. We've had many people who have come in, Becky, who have said they got involved with the Encore Center through their children, who have started and enrolled in some of your camps or your programs. So it's almost like a family tree that just keeps blossoming.
Yes. It's being involved in the theater is just, and what we are able to bring to the community, I think, is great because we we open it up to the community to be involved. So the auditions are open to whoever wants to be on it, whoever wants to audition. It's not, set just for a certain group of people or anything like that. Anybody who wants to audition is welcome to, and that has brought us so many community members that we just wouldn't even have known were out there and had this passion or joy for the theater. And so I think that it's been great. And then having, these guys that not just in Moore County, but also they've come from Fayetteville and have returned to do multiple things with us and help with things with the theater, because it takes a lot of work to put on a show, and the more people that you can have involved, the better.
I maintain that people who come to the shows and who love them can never fully appreciate or understand how much work and how much money is involved in making these productions. So much of it just sort of goes by our wayside, but these productions cost a ton. And local theater is challenged and has been. And so you guys have been consistently producing very good shows on limited budgets,
Yes.
right? But against the current, what's going on. And ticket prices are very reasonable.
Well, and that's been our goal, is to keep so that anybody can enjoy the productions, because that's what we want to offer to the community. We want to collaborate with the community, be involved in the community, and keeping prices reasonable for a family to be able to come and see the shows. And that's been a goal of ours, is to keep it affordable.
What else do you have going on in this season between now and Christmas? You
Yes.
have other things going on too.
Yes. So after On Golden Pond, then we start a teen production camp of Addams Family. We're doing the Young at Part version of that, and so we'll have 20-some teenagers on stage doing Addams Family, and that is exciting to bring this fall. Those shows will be the first 2 weekends. I believe it's November 8th through the 17th.
And tryouts are when?
They've already auditioned.
Okay.
So the cast list will be coming out within a week or so.
Okay. I got a chance to speak to one of those young ladies, and she was telling me a little bit about it. I won't mention names.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Everybody's very excited.
Everyone's excited. And she had her eye on one particular role. I remember as a kid growing up watching the Addams Family. So, James, you and I probably were watching it together. Do you remember?
Really? That
John
was a little
Astin,
before my time.
Yvonne DiCarlo. I don't remember the lady who played Wednesday. But
Yvonne DiCarlo, she was actually in the Munsters. You're thinking of Carolyn Jones.
That's it. Thank you. See, I'm too young. I don't remember. But I do remember.
Called you out there.
But and I think there was a production of Addams Family about 5 or 6 years ago in a local school, so that should be fun.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we have our Nutcracker Tea Party, which the dancers from the studio put that on, and that has always been a good project for us, and it's just a different experience to have the tea party with the story of the Nutcracker. So that is running in 2 weekends in December, and then we'll have a junior production camp in January and February of Frozen Junior. So we're excited for that. And then after that, we will have our big musical to close out our season, The Secret Garden.
And when is that going to be?
That one will be April 4th through 13th.
Wow.
And Bill Saunders from
he was on.
Sandhills,
Yeah,
he is going to be directing that for us. So we're super
cool.
excited to have him involved in that production.
That's great. So people can go to your box office, or they can go online for tickets, because it's early now, but they will start selling out quickly.
Tickets are on sale, and they are selling quickly. So definitely get your seats at encorecenter.net. Or you can call the box office phone number 910-725-0603.
Yeah. James, it's I wish you luck. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, thank you very much.
And when you told me you played Mr. Potter in It's a Wonderful Life, I now understand why you were cast as that, and probably did a good job in the
George
wheelchair.
Bailey.
Yeah. Right? And Rhonda, I'm glad that you could come and join us as well.
Thank you.
And even though this is not your first production, I have a feeling we'll be seeing you again down the road, right?
Hopefully, yes.
Right. Do you have children that are in theater too?
Yes, I do. Yes.
What a
both of mine.
surprise. Okay.
Yes, I have a boy and a girl. My son went to School of the Arts in North Carolina, and my daughter went to East Carolina for acting. So they're both in New York. So.
Oh, is that right? Working. Boy,
Well, they're making a living.
it's a tough business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
So you get
But-
to see them much or no?
Oh, I see them pretty often. I haven't been up to New York since I think May, so hopefully I'll make it back up there soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Best of luck.
Well, thank you.
And Mimi, it's great to have you here on the show.
you. Thank you.
And I know we'll be seeing you again as well.
Hope so. I hope so.
Becky, wish you the best for On Golden Pond. It's in 2.5 weeks. This is pressure time, right? Because you think we have to get it all together, but you always do.
We do.
And you get
It all comes together in the end.
it
even
really
if
does.
Yeah.
On Golden Pond, please book your tickets September the 27th through the 29th. There'll be 4 shows, which includes a Sunday matinee, and October the 4th through the 6th, same setup, Sunday matinee. We'll look forward to seeing you guys down the road.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is All Things Moore County, everyone. Have a great week. Thank you.